For many cruisers, the highlight of a Caribbean cruise is going to a cruise line private island to enjoy the beach, excursions, or just walking around. Well, on this video, we're going to take you along for day 7 of our recent Norwegian Aqua cruise, where we visit Norwegian Cruise Line's private island, the very first cruise line private island of Great Stirrup Cay. We're going to talk about the history, show you some things I guarantee you don't expect to see on a touristy beach, enjoy more of the ship, Norwegian Aqua, do our own little whiskey tasting, and then eventually turn in to share the disembarkation process. Oh, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell, right? Ring the bell? Ring the bell. Good morning, late start to the day. Just stopped by to get some espresso, and look at the color of the water, beautiful out there. In just a few, we'll queue up to go ashore. The Little Norway, formerly Bahamarama Mama, one of the tenders from the 70s, still operating. NCL really got their money's worth there. We've arrived via tender, and every time I come here, it's a little more built up than the last time. We'll, once we get settled, maybe get something cold to drink, we'll talk about why the history of this island is interesting. And maybe where you can find a memorial. Is it a gravestone or just a memorial somewhere nearby? Grabbed a drink over at the Bacardi bar. This island, Great Stirrup Cay, you can see Aqua behind us. We tendered in. However, that won't be the case for much longer, and I'm really glad, actually. In fact, let me spin this around so it's easier for me to hold the phone. With larger ships, larger capacity ships, tendering is just kind of a burden. So I didn't love that we got here at 9:30 this morning, and we couldn't, without getting advanced tender tickets, couldn't get off the ship until about noon. I never get advanced tender tickets anytime I'm at a tender port because I go, well, I don't need to be the first off the ship. But when you don't get here till 9:30 and when it's a larger ship, maybe you do want to be on the ship, off the ship a little earlier. That said, it doesn't matter for much longer here because Great Stirrup Cay at the end, sometime in Q4 of 2025, they have a pier that will open that will accommodate 2 ships. Most of the private destinations at this point, cruise line private islands, have that. Not all. I think Half Moon is in the process of building one, if I'm not mistaken. The very first was a place that if you like, subscribe, and ring that bell, you'll see in a month or so, because the very first private island to have a pier so that you didn't have to tender is Disney's Castaway Cay. Castaway Cay. Never know how people want to say that word. So they were the first, but now everyone's kind of done, and partially because it makes guests happy, it makes operations easier, and for larger ships, it's simply a necessity. However, the first cruise line private island overall is actually this one right here, where we're at. Great Stirrup Cay was leased by NCL in the 70s. They did kind of a snob appeal marketing, you know, a destination only for Norwegian guests. It was very rustic at the time, but a lovely place. And in fact, they ended up with 2 private destinations, one being Great Stirrup and the other being Half Moon Cay, which you may say, well, that's Holland America Carnival. It is now. NCL spent a lot of money on the Norway project, refurbing and changing over the France to the Norway, and they needed some money. So they actually, they got rid of Half Moon. They leased that, they sold that lease, I don't know how the mechanics of it work, over to Carnival. But I've actually got a picture of my parents at Half Moon Cay with the Norway in the background from, I don't know if it was the maiden, but it was inaugural season of the SS Norway. All right, that's history for now. I'll probably ramble on with that some more though. Checking out what there is to eat. We just watched some sort of, I don't know, it was like a bikini contest. Most of the people were definitely entering it for fun, and the narrator was funny. I wish I would have recorded that. Anyway, lunch on the island, they've got tacos, they've got barbecue, they've got pizza, various veggies, fruit. Let's try it out. Looks like drinks and desserts at a separate building. Always eat dessert first. Life is uncertain. Had some food. Wasn't bad. Pretty typical island fare, but decent quality. There's this large lighthouse here. You can, I think you can zip line to a few different points. And then there's a gift shop. I don't remember ever seeing the gift shop. So we're just kind of walking the island right now. To my dad, who's watching this video at some point, maybe sometime I come back here, wear a 35-year-old Great Stirrup Cay shirt and try and return it. Just up from the little putting green at Great Stirrup, these two structures, and I'm wondering what they were. I need to come here with some friends to split a cabana sometime, because Great Stirrup Cay has some really interesting cabanas. And what's interesting about them, and these are just the actually some of the more basic ones, in fact. If we keep going around the corner here, we'll get to the suite area where the really nice ones are. They're very nice. And if you compare what Royal Caribbean charges for a cabana, you can get what is like a 1 or 2 bedroom little like house with a bathroom, like air conditioned, its own private area for what you pay for a regular cabana at Coco Cay, which is, by the way, pick the one time you can't really see it, but right over there. Walking distance. So it's yeah, the value prop on these is good. It's amazing. Still hard for me to justify when there's 2 of us. Yeah. And since we're not like morning people and don't get here first thing to enjoy, but sometime when we're here with friends. We should do it. Tom? Come on, Tom. This is Stirred Up Barbecue. It's like a little food truck kind of thing. You want to order because we are closing right now? Okay. There's a couple of food spots, including this one behind us, which is across from the barbecue place. Seems to be the same stuff as the first place, but I guess they just spread it out. So if you come, if you have a cabana, or if you're just hanging out at one of these loungers on this beach, you have nearby food option. Another bar over here. Notice they're not running the zip line. I wonder if they just ran it earlier in the day, because to run it you need people up top, and it's just so warm. I'm on a quest right now to find a burial marker or 2. It's from somebody in the Royal Navy and then somebody on a passing ship, 1834 and 1838. And I know it's here, I've seen it. But so much has changed, I can't remember where. And everyone thinks I'm crazy. After asking several people that thought I was nuts, someone knew what I was talking about. So it looks like that's the original marker. It's almost completely faded. So 1979? Yeah, 1979. Norwegian placed one that's more legible right next to it. If you're looking for some shade out here, you can rent these clamshells. They have them in a few different spots. They're $50 for the day. You cannot use your $50 shore excursion credit on equipment rentals, because when you book your cruise with most fares, you end up with shore excursion credit. You can't use it for that. But $50, yeah, not terribly unreasonable, I suppose. There's other things you can do as well. You can rent snorkel equipment. There are jet skis, dive trips. There's a variety of things, though the vast majority of people, I think, just decide to relax on the beach. And it's been lovely, but I'm about to get back to the ship because it is real warm. That is not a typo. It is, the B-E-R-R, buried, is a play on words, because this part of the Bahamas is an island chain known as the Berry Islands. And someone's telling me there were a bunch of iguanas over here, which everyone finds very novel. Living in South Florida, though, we get those in the yard. This is the actual market they're talking about. Some local merchants. I think this sand path is where is also where you're shuttled if you're in the Haven and you're going over to that area, I think. We saw where someone was buried. We talked about the Berry Islands. all sorts of facts coming at you. Yeah. This guy's everybody's favorite today.
Yeah, he's a favorite.
Thank you very much. Getting back on, this time on the Norway 1. Named after the SS Norway, formerly the France. She carried her own tenders, because at the time, ships were using much smaller craft, lifeboats and other small craft, but the Norway was very high capacity at the time, so they needed a solution. That was it. Over here, the Grand Caribe, formerly of Blount Small Ship Adventures or something like that, an American cruise line that became defunct around COVID. I'm guessing that NCL or a contractor purchased it and is using it for housing for contractors, because there's a lot of work going on the island right now with the dock and many other improvements that will be coming in the next 6 to 18 months. So I suspect they're just using that as housing. Loaded up on the upper deck of this tender, and we didn't bring towels because we weren't going to go in the ocean, whatever, it didn't matter. Pro tip, you're going to want towels, because if you end up here, that is boiling hot. Just about to pull up, there's Great Stirrup Cay, still not out, and Coco Cay over there, icon of the seas, dock there for today. Pulling back up to Aqua. Tendering operations took a while. They're very efficient on the island side, but getting off of the tender and just getting the tender moving, and we're at the top deck on one of the tenders that was not covered on the top. Most of them were, so it was warm. But back on board now. I think we're going to walk over to the observation lounge because it's cold.
And there's snacks.
And I believe right now there are snacks over there.
There are snacks.
Have a quick little snack, and then maybe go back to 8 aft, where we've made home base. I don't know. We'll see. It just sounds like a place with AC, doesn't it? Is a scone beach day food? No. Are scones delicious? Yes. One quirk of these wide promenades, and really depending on them for lounger seating, and then they even have the infinity pools, is often only one side sunny. So we went along this side, and it's a bit ahead there, but the infinity pool was packed and there weren't chairs right near it. But then went to the other side. This side is in the shade. So Larissa's in a day bed right over there, and there's even space in the pool. Just spun around as we get ready to leave, or as we leave, Great Stirrup Cay. And maybe this is the last time we'll ever tender there. The dock is under construction right over there. So hopefully by the end of the year it's done. We managed to secure one of these day beds with a little foot pool around it. Hard thing to secure, but they're really, really nice. And you're right next to one of the infinity pools here. Though once you're underway, it's not an infinity pool, it's just a pool, because they lower the water level. I've cleaned up for the evening. I'm running over to the shops to see if I can buy Q-tips, because I have water stuck in my ear from doing a little social media stunt for our friends and partners over at Touring Cruises. Check them out in the links below. They won't make you do this. And what else? Oh, I did stop over by guest services to get luggage tags. So on some cruise lines, they will put luggage tags in your room for the last night. And if you want to swap them out, you can. A lot of people don't realize that. Just go to guest services. NCL just lets you pick whichever you want. So they have a rack outside of guest services, and you pick the appropriate color to match the time that you plan to disembark. I think that's just fine. Works for me. There's probably less waste that way. People then they realize that they can swap times and stuff like that. So yeah, that works fine for me. We've got one bag that we'll check. The rest we'll walk off with before heading home. Still a whole evening ahead though. Starting with Q-tips, hopefully. No dice on the Q-tips. There's some sort of t-shirt sale or something going on over here. And I'll tell you, I don't mind the way that on this class of ship, they do the retail and the kind of hallways as you walk by. I think it works fine, except they do one of these, you know, trying to find a nicer word. I was going to say $5 for all this junk kind of sales, because then it just clogs up a little bit. I mean, not that bad. All right, no Q-tip. I'll survive. What's the worst that happens when you breathe day old pool water in your ear for like 24 hours? Probably be fine, right? Checked in at Hudson's. They said it could be 20 to 30 minutes because we really went at peak time. Commodore might be faster, but I wanted to go to Hudson's. Larissa's here somewhere at the lounge right next door, Metropolitan Lounge. Where is she? Our wait for our table only ended up being like 10 minutes. That was good. And I'm glad that we're getting to enjoy Hudson's while it's still light out. I really like this dining room for these windows. I lost track. Icon of the Seas was somewhere on the horizon.
Right there.
You'll just have to trust me. That's Icon. For an appetizer, I got a roasted vegetable salad with pesto and goat cheese. Oh, sounded good. For a change of pace, Larissa got the Caesar that I usually end up getting.
Yeah, I did. Well, because I can't eat goat.
Main course, poke, white fish with vegetables. And that is a stuffed pepper, I think with spinach and ricotta. Excited to cut into it. Nice sunset out the window while we wait for dessert. Larissa went with the fruit plate, the healthy option, whereas lava cake with strawberries and ice cream. Should have ordered like 4 of these instead of dinner. I like this observation lounge. It's very soothing.
Didn't contact juggle that?
Larissa asked me if I want to contact juggle that, mocking me. Contact juggling, the one circus thing that I could never master. This is a lot smaller than the observation lounge on Encore, but similar overall vibe. We'll check out the one again on Encore, which they've modified. It's a little shorter actually now, when we're on in August. Join us in Alaska. Check the links below. Just outside the observation lounge is what's called the game zone, I think. We've got all sorts of video games, virtual reality, there's bowling, all sorts of things over here. Larissa's about to play the world's smallest air hockey. What is this? So this says cat rack, but those are clowns. It's $2.20. We're not really sure what this is, but we're willing to pay $2.20 to find out why it's called cat rack. I was hoping there were like tiny little cats somewhere. No cats. Kind of disappointed. I think this is how the game works. It's really hard to juggle when you're being filmed.
It's over and you're gonna hurt it.
Have you ever wanted to go tuna fishing, but you just couldn't stand the ocean? Oh crap, it's on a cruise ship. That wouldn't work. Back at the whiskey bar. Good selection, good bar staff, nice atmosphere, like deer. Also, the menu here is different than the whiskey bar on some other ships, or maybe they changed it across the fleet, I don't know. But you've got a whole section of American whiskeys, and then they have kind of cool information on how whiskey's made and some history stuff. Love talking about that to people. They do have whiskey-based cocktails, but it's a full bar. You can order got more than just whiskey. And we've got other stuff as well. Fireball is from Canada? I had no idea.
Huh.
Canada, friends, be better. I love Canada. I like making fun of Canadian whiskey. I don't consider Fireball whiskey. I had no idea it was Canadian. since I'm at a whiskey bar and I keep drinking the same one or two scotches, which are delicious, by the way, I decided I'd try something else. And my friend Jitan, she was just on the celebrity ship, and she said she tried Old Forester and liked it, a bourbon. So here I've got Old Forester 1910, and apparently this one was made. They started making this with charred barrels because in 1910 they had a fire. So.
Oh, is this the 2020?
Well, that's kind of complex, actually.
So which one do you have?
This is the 10.
This is 20. Okay. I really wanted the 20.
So this is a Prohibition era one when they had a medical license.
Yeah.
Try it. And she spits it immediately all over my face. No, Larissa's pretty good with this stuff. What do you think?
It's good.
So she says.
It does have that kind of like a little bit of an herbal medicinal taste.
Yeah,
it's
not as bad as I thought it was going to be, though. I prefer the 10. All right, this is tasting bourbons with Billy and Larissa. Hung out entirely too late at the whiskey bar, and now about to head to the room. That is one of the many red flags that it is too late, especially on the last night, the vacuuming. Met some nice people, hung out, and now it's time.
I got to exchange information on my new Brazilian best friend.
Can you imagine Larissa met a Brazilian on the ship?
I met many.
What are the odds?
This one guy. He's from my hometown.
All right. We'll be talking in the morning about the disembarkation process, how that goes. We'll let you know. And any closing thoughts before getting additional videos out there? Yeah, we'll see you in the morning. It is just after 8 o'clock. We're out of our room, have to be out of rooms by 8. Most of the place stopped serving breakfast at 8, but we're heading to one 8:30. I did want to show you guys this, the imagination wall. This particular one that happened to come up as I'm filming kind of didn't work while we're in port. But you can do a few things. There's cameras on each side of this, on the outside behind this wall, and that's why you get that view of what's out there, as well as inside the ship. And there are interactive games you can play with augmented reality. That actually looks really cool when you're at sea because it looks like there's a whale. But again, the worst possible one came up. There's another one where it looks like an alien landing down on the deck. It's cute. You can just touch the screen off to the side and play the games. It's over here in the photo area. But we're gonna head to indulge and just grab something light before walking off the ship, before our luggage check is called. I misremembered it wasn't indulge that was open a little later. It was Starbucks. So grabbed a quick little something there, and now just waiting for our luggage tag color to be called. I think we're next. It seems like the ship handles the crowd of the people waiting for disembarkation really well. Like, this is about as dense as any parts of the ship I walked through. People distributed well, which is really nice, because sometimes even if you're ready to disembark, you're just navigating a sea of humanity. So, trying to find any good part of leaving a cruise ship I can. Disembarkation was, I think, very smooth, not for us in particular, but very smooth for most people. Sometimes you end up in this long, winding chain throughout the ship getting off. This was very quick and easy. The terminal was fine. Overall, really easy process. And now we're on the 2-hour and change drive home. I appreciate everyone who's been following along throughout these vlogs. Stay tuned. We'll also have a cabin tour and perhaps other videos from Aqua. Lots more on the channel and on the site. Like, subscribe, ring that bell. I look forward to talking ship with you again real soon.